able to get the wife to come out again today, which is awesome. Probably going to be the last ride for her for the season. She's not a huge fan of sledding, but every once in a while she doesn't mind getting out. I've been out quite a bit, and this is only her second time out, so like I said, not a huge fan, but it's nice to be able to get her out and just do it with me. It's kind of nice. The trails are actually in pretty good shape. I don't know if you guys remember in my first videos, but I came through here quite a bit and it was all whooped out really hard, and it's actually in nice shape now that they're able to get some snow, groom it a little bit. Another nice day out today. It's a little bit more overcast, but it's the weather's nice. So I've seen a couple guys there wondering, like, when some of these new rides are melting down, if you notice the exhaust temperatures. And a lot of guys are saying between that 55 to 6,000 RPM. I'm in that range quite a bit, and I didn't notice it too high. When it did go high was at 6,200 RPM. I did a pull and I stayed around there for a bit, and I got up to about 1180. So that's outside of the range. If I'm in this range, I'm sitting down under 1,000. So it's not really that bad in this range. Like I said, maybe I just got lucky. I got decent injectors, whatever the issue is, I don't know. But my sled's been running awesome. I haven't had any issues with it, so I'm happy with it so far. I think I'll be riding here a little bit down through the trail, and then we'll get to a spot, and I'm going to swap off with the wife, and I'm going to let her try this and see what she thinks about this. And again, this ski stance is a little bit more narrow than that one. I got it narrowed all the way in, so it's 39.5 or 38.5 or whatever the narrow ski stance is at. And I do not have the sway bar link connected. It's disconnected right now. So we'll see what she thinks of that. And then it'll be kind of good because I'll be able to get onto the high country. I haven't ridden that all year, and I'll give my feedback from what I think of this one to that one. And I can tell you right now, I'm not going to like that one's motor, which I'm kind of sad about, because I love the Suzuki motors. They're an awesome motor, they're nice and strong, but they don't compare to this motor. This motor is just awesome. It's just so snappy and responsive, and the Suzuki motor is just not. And then this clutching is pretty awesome. It's got a nice back shift to it, slows you down pretty good. Make sure, oh yeah. The brake is really good. Hopefully this mic is picking up. Yesterday I did a ride there, and you'll see video of that probably. And the first portion of the ride, it picked up really good, nice and clear. It was awesome. I regret not buying this mic right from the beginning, but it was quite a bit more money than the other one I bought. I wasn't sure what I was going to be doing with the channel, how far I was going to be going with it, so I didn't want to spend a ton of money on stuff. But yeah, this mic picked me up really nice and clear. But then I noticed I did a recording about halfway through, and it sounded like garbage. You couldn't even hear me speaking. So I'm kind of thinking maybe when I went to go hit the record button that it jarred the connection point. So hopefully today I don't have that issue, and it's going to be good quality for us. And again, I'm sorry I didn't get it sooner, because it's picking me up a lot nicer. Maybe a couple of these sections here I might hit a little bit higher speed here for you guys, but again, it's a busy weekend because it's nice. At least it's Sunday, not as much traffic, but we've already came across a few people in the trails here already. so I don't want to give her too much. This trail's a lot narrower. Yesterday we were out in a different area away at a different lake, and we're going through, and I'm signaling to everybody behind me that, hey, somebody's right behind me, like, slow down. And the wife was coming through a corner, and these two guys went through the corner, and the one guy pretty much, well, I think he did run over my wife's skis coming through the corner. So there's a few idiots out there. You just got to be careful. That didn't impress her all too much. She doesn't want to be getting ran into, obviously. So yeah, I just... like, there's 50, I'm doing 40. You know, like, I'm cruising through there pretty good. People ask me, what do I notice the difference in the skid between this and the twin? The best way I could describe it is I feel like this going through some corners. With the monorail, you can feel the back end just kind of flex. The track is staying on the ground, but the back, your seat and everything flexes, so it feels like it's got some body roll to it. That's the best way I could describe how the mono feels. Like right here, it just barely moves. You can tell the track is still flat on the ground, but you can definitely feel a bit of body roll right there. And if you do it too much, then yeah, it gets your ski to lift off. Going too fast. With the twin, it feels like it's more rigid. So it feels like it wants to fishtail and power slide through, like you could drift it. This one doesn't give you confidence to do that because you can feel the roll in it. You're not going to roll, track's still on the ground. The back end's not going to flip on you. If anything, it brings the front ski up. But yeah, that's my best analogy of that. Is it just, this one feels like it has more body roll to it, where the twins feel like they sit more flat. They're more rigid. I know, I'm kind of curious, Terra Alps Racing, they're out of BC, out of Kelowna, British Columbia, and they have a 4-wheel kit for these Alphas. So I think they just go on the axle. Hey guys, sorry about that. I don't know what's going on here. My audio started cutting out on me. I lost a bunch of clips here as well. My SD card kind of had corrupt files on it, so I'm not too sure. So I'm just going to try to do a bit of a voiceover here, and hopefully finish up with that. Again, I'm sorry about that, and hopefully I don't have any more of these issues in the future. But I know this GoPro's been kind of ticking me off lately, but it is what it is. So I was just saying, the Terra Alps there, they have a 4-wheel kit for the back of the Alpha, so I don't know exactly how that goes on the axles there, and it adds two extra wheels on the outside there, so I think it might help keep it a little bit flatter for trail riding. It's not going to be as good, I don't think, in the mountains. You won't get as much flex, but again, that's just at the very back of the sled. So I'd be interested to try that and see how that helps, and if it would help or not. And then, like I said, I lost a bunch of clips there. They're corrupted, and I had the wife on the Alpha, or on the Riotx here, and I was driving the 13 high country. With the 13, what I noticed is I did forget how fun that motor is, how it likes to pull on the top end. With the 141 and the 2 1/4, that track was just spinning everywhere on the trails. I couldn't really get traction with it.
it definitely felt like a heavier sled. That's for sure. It's a heavier sled. It feels more stable because how I was talking about with the body roll there. On the Riotx, I feel with the body rolls on the back end, with the high country or the twin rail, I feel like the body roll comes from the front end, so you can feel the front end rolling, and the back end stays stiff and stable. And then you just notice it with your ski lift, and that's when you're really starting to roll that front end over. With the Riotx, with the Alpha 1, you feel it in the back before anywhere else, and then you'll lift the front. So it's just a little bit different of a riding feel. Unfortunately, the wife, she couldn't give a very, very good review of this. When we switched, we ended up on a little bit rougher, whooped out moguls and stuff, so her throttle control wasn't as great, and then so she didn't really get a very good riding feel for it. She stayed under, I think, 30 miles an hour the whole time until we got out on the lake. So she never really got to experience to see if it felt more unstable or not. I know she didn't like for herself. She found it a lot more responsive and snappy, and she's not used to that, so it made it a little harder to ride. She's more used to the high country's throttle, and it's not as snappy and punchy down low. And then as well as what else? She didn't like the running boards. They're a little bit more narrow, so it was harder to get her feet on them. It felt like her feet were falling off the edge of the running board there just a little bit. Obviously it's awesome for out in the mountains, but trail riding is not quite as good. That's something she noticed. She did like the narrower seating stance. She found it comfortable. Yeah, like I said, she never got to give it a really good try. Unfortunately, this is the last ride of the year for us. Our snow's melting real fast now. I'm lucky I'm able to go out west here one more time, and that'll be it for my year too. So it's too bad, but it's coming to an end here. And so here I'm just on the 13, and we're just getting out onto the lake. And then the thing I didn't like is that you could hang a ski, and you definitely notice that twin rail when you're hanging a ski riding sideways there. You could feel it digging down into the ground there a little bit more. Decided to come and hit this lip here, wheelie over it a bit, and then I wanted to get out on the lake, and I wanted to get the wife in front of me and just kind of follow her here. And I was going to show you how much spray it sprays out the back, and chunks it throws and stuff, but in the trails it throws a little bit more, and when you're going a little faster there's just not much to grab onto on the lake here. But yeah, I did forget how much fun the 13 can be as well. The motor, it surprised me. I forgot all about it. I was just so used to, yeah, see, getting behind here and saying, yeah, it sprays a little bit, but it's not nearly as bad as what it does in the trails. I should have got in the trails behind her, showed you guys. But here now I'm just kind of punching it, catching up, and yeah, it's this motor's a lot of fun, especially on the top end here. It really just likes to pull and pull and pull and just keep on going, where the C-Tech doesn't quite do that. It's a lot better on bottom and mid, and then when you get up top it does seem like it kind of peters out. But yeah, all in all, really happy with the sled, and I kind of got in my head that I didn't really like the 13 as much anymore until I got back on it, and I realized how much fun it still actually is. It does feel a lot heavier. It feels a little more stable, and just it doesn't roll as much but like I said, the roll's a little bit different on the front end of the sled. So it still does roll, it's just the back end and your seat feel more stable. yeah, just the power still is good on it, and I forgot all about that, so it's kind of a fun re-experience, I guess. And I would never trade it for my Alpha for out west. I still think that if you're kind of more on a budget, or if you're getting into sledding, that's a decent option to go out west with, especially for us out in the flatlands here. You don't know what mountain riding's really all about, so it's pretty hard to just drop a bunch of money on a mountain specific machine, and then you go out there and a lot of people don't like mountain riding. I know it's kind of hard to believe, but it's just a lot different. And some guys just they like being in the trails, and they like going fast and going around corners, and they'd rather do more than the 30 miles an hour that you get to do in the mountains. And it is what it is, but this is a good sled to try to do both worlds. And if you don't like mountain riding, then at least you can still easily ride this back home on the trails. And it's a good entry level sled. They're pretty decently priced now. But yeah, that's about it for this video here. Like I said, I'll be going out west this weekend coming up, so hopefully I get to get some good video out there for our last trip. And they got a bunch of snow last week, and I'm just hoping that there's still going to be some good snow left for us by the time we get there, and really put that ride back through its paces a little bit, and that'll be that. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.